Mr. Marcus says, I got anxious and triggered when you interviewed Dr. Orion. He's referring to Dr. Orion Taraban. He has a popular YouTube channel called Psych Hacks. He and I did a talk for the Help for Men podcast. Check it out, Help for Men on YouTube, Help for Men podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. Please subscribe. And Marcus is saying here that you feel that he has a very dismal view of humanity when it comes to dating, particularly men. Do you believe that we can still learn a lot from him? Dude, we can learn a lot from everybody. I mean, I feel safe with you and your channel. I don't know about Dr. Orion. Please enlighten. Well, buddy, I get where you're coming from with this, but this is something that I get on a lot of guys in our group about. It's not exactly the same scenario, but similar. And that is, we have an open forum in our discussion group. Men talk about all kinds of different things. And you'll have a guy that's like, I'm dating this gal. I just saw this red flag. I'm curious what you guys think. And, first few replies will be like, tell us more, blah, 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 blah. What did you do? Oh, I had a gal that did this and it meant nothing, yada, yada. And then other guy would be like, it's kind of concerning for me. I don't know, dude. I would start investigating and look further into this and this. And then invariably here comes a guy going, dump that loser of a woman. She's just an evil succubus. You're better off without her, right? Well, guess what? All of those opinions are valid. That's their perspective. And they all have some kind of value. But it can be argued that that last dude is kind of like, ooh, that's pretty negative, dude. Well, that's my perspective, and the perspective of a lot. And then sometimes men message me directly and say, I don't like that guy. He's mean. He's overly negative. And I go, well, then ignore him. Ignore. You can do that on the forum thingy. Block, ignore, whatever. I don't want to see shit from this guy anymore. And he's magically gone. Or continue to look at it and just go, I can see where he's coming from. This guy was cheated on 9 times or whatever it may be. Got half his wealth taken away in divorce, and he's still angry. He's working through some shit. That's fine. At the same time, there are people like Dr. Orion and even our pal, again, I'm mentioning her a lot here, Dr. Samantha Rodman-White. And her and Orion have something in common, which is they have kind of a, for lack of a better term, cold, technical, uber rational, realistic view of relationships. Like Samantha gets a lot of heat from some men because she just kind of poo-poos the whole thing of, yeah, in marriage, your wife's not going to want you nearly as much as what you want. She's not going to want sex. She'll forget about it. It's just the way women are, especially after having kids. Oh, well. And men are like, excuse me? This is like a major holy shit thing. No, I never knew this as a guy growing up. I was just, some men erroneously think that the honeymoon stage of their relationship will last through the next 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever years. And he thinks he's going to be a 50, 60, 70-year-old man just in a very happy, active sex life with his wife. And then wife becomes 43 years of age, perimenopause sets in, yada, yada. And there's people like Dr. Psych Mom saying, I don't know what to tell you, dude. Go get some on the side, divorce the woman, whatever, or live with it. And some people are like, that's very antithetical, very much against this very romantic view of relationships, the softer view of relationships. Orion's kind of some version of that, where it's this very pragmatic, rational, almost kind of spectrum-y, but that's kind of him. That's his brand. That's who he is. He's a psychologist. He studies this stuff, and he looks at it from a very technical, popping the hood, looking under the hood, looking at the engine kind of thing. And sometimes that comes across as like, you need to soften your approach a little bit, Orion. But no, that's who he is. And it works well for him. And if that doesn't work for you, and you're like, that kind of rubs me the wrong way, it makes me feel kind of ick. Yeah, don't watch him. What can I tell you? But I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, I guess is the phrase I'm looking for. If Orion and I are talking and he gives me 12 points and I disagree with 10 of them, there's still 2 little things I learned from. I guess I'm of the opinion of I can easily go, let me scrape the other 10 and learn from these 2 little nuggets. And now I've learned something. On I go. What I don't do is go, I disagree with the 10. That makes him an evil, vile creature. Get away from me. I don't want anything to do with them anymore. If you have that stance, you ain't going to learn much from the world, period. There's going to be people that are everybody's going to say something. I'm going to say something, Marcus, that's probably going to piss you off or make you go, wait, what? You're saying like most of the time you probably agree with some I say. Some things you're not going to agree with. I hope you still stick around for the rest, right?